For the panel discussion, which is the subject is Indigenous and Smart Rail Infrastructure Development for Viksit Rail 2047, we have the panelist, Mr. Anil Kumar Khandelwal, ex-member Infra Railway Board, Ministry of Railways. Can we have him on his stage, please? Please give him a big round of applause. To Mr. Srinivas Nanduri, Advisor Traffic, Delhi Metro Rail Corporation Limited. Thank you so much. And next we have Mr. Harsimran Singh, IRSE CVO, Hindustan Copper Limited. Also we have with us Mr. Aditya Vikram Birla, CMD, Cosmic Birla Group. Thank you so much. And next we have Mr. Manish Pandey, MD, ADJ Engineering Private Limited. This is our panelist. Thank you so much. And for the moderation of this session, we have Ms. Nikita Bose, National Head Government Coverage Invoicement, ex-MSME Program Expert, MOM SME. So we would like to, over to you, ma'am, for the session, and would like to request you to kindly conclude the session in 35 to 40 minutes. We are running short of time, so please try to wrap up. Thank you.
Namaskar, and very good evening, good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen present here. Honestly, I felt like I was seeing a college reunion when I saw my set of panelists meeting each other. It was a lovely and a heartening scene, honestly. So, it is indeed a privilege to welcome you all to this distinguished panel discussion on Indigenous Smart Rail Infrastructure Development for Viksit Rail. And I'm standing between you all and the lunch, so I would like to keep in mind the paucity of time and keep the discussion short, interesting, engaging, and inspiring. So there is a Sanskrit maxim that has adorned the walls of the railway workshops, the crew lobbies, and the divisional offices of the railway across India. It says, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. I hope people from the railway have heard about it, have seen it. It's a timeless message from the Bhagavad Gita. It means, I shall provide what you lack and I shall preserve what you have. And to me, this beautifully captures the very spirit of the Indian Railways. Every day, millions of passengers place their trust in this institution, not merely to transport them safely, but to preserve their aspirations while carrying the nation forward. That philosophy has guided generations of railway professionals, reminding us that progress is meaningful when it is built on responsibility, safety, and service. Today, as India moves confidently towards the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047, Indian Railways finds itself at the heart of one of the world's most ambitious infrastructure transformations. We are not merely expanding a railway network, we are building the backbone of a future-ready economy. So from indigenous signaling systems like the Kavach to the world-class engineering marvels, high-speed corridors, smart stations, complete electrification, advanced manufacturing and digital technologies, Indian Railways is becoming a global example of how scale, innovation and national purpose can come together. So as someone who has had the privilege of working at the intersection of public policy, digital public infrastructure, MSME development and supply chain finance, I myself being a person from supply chain and had the experience of working in the Ministry of MSME, I have never seen that engineering alone has developed infrastructure. Behind every bridge, every locomotive and every signaling system stands a vibrant ecosystem of manufacturers, innovators, technology providers, financiers, and thousands of MSMEs that together transform policy into progress. And that is why today's discussion is especially very, very relevant. The future of Indian Railways will not be defined only by the kilometers of track we lay, but by the strength of the ecosystem we build around it. The one that is indigenous, the technologically advanced, financially resilient, globally competitive, and very, very deeply collaborative. And we are really fortunate enough to have an exceptional panel today of leaders who have shaped railway policy, infrastructure execution, urban mobility, engineering excellence, and industrial manufacturing. Their combined experience offers us a unique opportunity to explore not only what has been achieved, but what it is to realize the vision of Viksit Rail 2047. So over the next session that we are going to have, we will discuss how indigenous technologies can become global benchmarks, how smart infrastructure can improve safety and efficiency, how Make in India can strengthen our railway supply chains, and how innovation, industry and MSMEs can work together to build railways that India will proudly hand over to the next generation. So I warmly welcome to our speakers over here. I'll quickly introduce our speakers. Shri Anil Kumar Khandelwal, former member, Infrastructure Railway Board, a distinguished 1987 batch IRSC officer who has led transformational projects including Chenab Bridge, Amrit Bharat Station Scheme, Gati Shakti and Kavach. Shri Nanduri Srinivas, advisor traffic, DMRC, an accomplished transport leader with rich experience across Indian Railways, dedicated freight corridor and DMRC in operations, freight, logistics and urban mobility. Shri Harsimran Singh, Chief Vigilance Officer, Hindustan Copper Limited, a distinguished railway leader with experience across Indian Railways, RVNL and metro infrastructure, including Vande Bharat workshops and Kolkata Metro. Shri Aditya Vikram Birla, CMD, Cosmic Birla Group, a dynamic industrial leader driving Make in India through advanced engineering, rail infrastructure and green mobility. And at last, Shri Manish Pandey, Managing Director, ADJ Engineering Private Limited, an engineering innovator leading indigenous rail diagnostics, intelligent monitoring systems, and track safety technologies. Once again, a very, very warm welcome to the panelists, and I would like all of you to give a huge round of applause. Thank you. Hello, I'm audible? Yeah. Let us make this session very, very interactive and very interesting, sir. We'll begin with Shri Anil Kumar Khandelwal, sir. Sir, my first question to you, and we have seen your experience so rich and so inspiring for all of us. My question would be that India has successfully delivered transformative projects like Chenab Bridge and Kavach. What should be the next defining milestone in indigenous railway infrastructure over the next decade, sir? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Nikita ji. As all of us are fully aware that India is fastest growing economy. And for any growing economy, the logistic arrangements are very, very important. If industry has to become competitive, our logistic cost should be within our limits. Unfortunately, we are in double digit, and for reducing the infrastructure, logistic cost, infrastructure is key. And in infrastructure, railway is cheapest, most economical and environment friendly transport medium. As Nikita has already told, that it is not only transport system, but it is a backbone of the economy. If we go back and just see in 1995, India and China, they were all equal, about $0.3 trillion economy, track was about 60,000 kilometers. Now China has grown very fast in railways, and their economy has also grown equally fast. They are at more than $19 trillion economy, and we are at 4. All of us want to grow and become at least third economy of the world. And for that, growth of logistic arrangement, transport system is essential. Government has taken note of it, and already we are on the right path. We were spending about 2 lakh crore on infrastructure development. Now we are at more than 12 lakh crore. And you have seen a lot of good infra which has been delivered in the last few recently. Examples are Jammu Kashmir Udhampur rail line, and so many and so. And here we are going with very fast speed, and we next time to come, our projects which we will be delivering will be bullet train, Ahmedabad, Bombay. Work is going on very fast. The tunnel work below the sea has started. One tunnel in metro they have made in Calcutta, that is under Hooghly River, and this will be the longest tunnel under sea in India. The work already, tunnel boring machines have come. On 18th or 20th they will start working, and then we will very soon you will have very good tunnel under the sea. And most probably on 2028 you will be able to travel in bullet train in India. Rishikesh Karnaprayag will be one landmark project. We are having their longest transportation tunnel of Asia. That also will be delivered very shortly in 2-3 years to come. Kavach is an indigenous safety system. World over, ETCS2 and other systems took almost 18 to 20 years to develop. But our Indian engineers have made it possible in hardly 12 to 14 years. And now installation work has started. And in next decade, we will see that this is spread all over the country. And our safety will improve, definitely. There are so many things coming up like that. And the future of India is on infrastructure, is on rising trend, and then we will see very good infrastructure development in time to come. And I am sure that our infra logistic cost will reduce, and we will have world-class infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was really positive to hear. Very, a lot of ambitious things happening, and very heartening for all the citizens of our country to understand that railway is on such a progressive note. My question next would be to Srinivas sir. Having worked across the railways, dedicated freight corridor, DMRC, and as sir was also talking about a lot about the Indian engineers that are there, what operational lessons can Indian railways adopt from the metro systems to improve the efficiency and the passenger experience?
Good afternoon. It's quite late, so I will just compress it. Indian Railways is like an ocean, right? And in the ocean, you have problems are different. Metro is a very confined, closed space environment where the density of population coming is very high and quick transit. The transit needs of metro passengers and Indian Railways passengers are totally different. So let's not compare these two. I have progressed from primitive technology to most advanced technology, that is metro. Indian Railways is also now going in the technology way as infrastructure funding has increased, improvements have been coming in. We used to see coaches normally, ICF made coaches, very, old types. From there to now present days, Vande Bharat and high-speed trains which we are seeing. That's the transformation which is coming. The biggest challenge has been the attitude to adopt change. That is slowly coming now with more and more people learning from Gen Z. We can say that yes, technology will be adopted fast and we will be seeing lot of improvements coming through.
Right, so thank you so much. This was really insightful, and after a very long time I heard somebody complimenting the Gen Zs. So, yeah.
Indian Railway, this India metro system is growing very fast, like railways. We are at fourth or in world, and now very soon, by December or January, you will be second largest metro network in the world, after China. China, of course, has 9,000 and so, but 1,400 kilometer of US, we will be beating very soon. Our network of metro is about 1.9 kilometer per million urban population.
Right.
But world over desired is we are although becoming second highest, still will be far behind. The requirement is generally 5 kilometer per million urban population. So we are far behind, but we will be very soon second largest network of metro in world.
Wonderful, sir, wonderful. So my next question will land to Shri Harsimran Singh. Sir, how do the governance, transparency and quality assurance contribute to successful railway infrastructure delivery?
Thank you, ma'am. I would say that this public infrastructure, it's built on public trust. And this public trust will come when our systems and processes are transparent, there is accountability, there is fairness, and this all comes with technology. Particularly, it starts with the digitalization. So all our government departments, they have gone for digitalization in a big way, and automation has come up. But still, we are quite behind, and now we have to think of adopting AI in our technologies. As sir was saying that our economy is about $4 trillion at present, and our Viksit Bharat aim is to be it's around $30 trillion by 2047. And in a growing economy, about 25% of the GDP, that is public procurement, and 75% of that is works contracts. And as per United Nations figures, about 18 to 25% of public procurement goes down the drain if the systems and processes are not in place. So that's the role of transparency. And in our public infrastructure projects, the mega projects, I would rather say that the government should come up with the policies to have data-driven decisions. In the last session, it was asked what should be the policy initiative. I would say that the most important policy initiative should be that there should be data-driven decisions only, and the public projects should work with data-driven manner. In our mega projects, say of high speed or metro projects, and other big projects of the mining sector and other and petroleum sector, we should have 3D models. All our drawings and designs should get converted into 3-dimensional models, and we should add the dimension of cost with Primavera and other available softwares. This has been adopted in bulletin projects also, but up to this level only. I would say that now the 5th dimension of cost must get added to this, so that we can have complete control on the cost and time in mega projects. All our stakeholders should be transparently collaborated, so that they can raise their issues in a real-time manner, and those are resolved in the real-time basis. If this kind of transparency is there, our governance will be very fast in public projects, and we will be able to save a lot of money also. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you. That was really insightful. In fact, transparency is something which we really look forward to in all the especially the entities that deal with the public very deeply, especially the railways. My next question would be to Shri Aditya Vikram Birla, sir. What more is needed to make Indian manufacturers globally competitive in railway components and systems?
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you, Nikita ji, for asking me this question. I think over a period of time, we've been able to decipher and come to establish this point that India at large, the industries here, the industrialists at large, have been able to manufacture at scale. That's not a question at all. And also they can be cost competitive to a larger extent when you compare it to the world lights. But the point is that how do we make it more competitive, and how can we make these guys do better than what they're doing right now? So I have a 5-point agenda on this. Point 1 would be to localize majority of the players and localize majority of the purchases. We should not look at Germany or the West. I know they've been developed over the years, and we've been a younger nation than them at point. But the last 30 years has not been, you cannot compare the last 15 years or 20 years to the last 70 years, last 50 years, 70 years. So it's been a rapid change over the last 15 years. To kind of contribute to that or to support that, there are other things that we have to do, and that is a long-term policy in terms of purchases, a long-term of policy in procurement. So for an industry to invest, the ideology remains with the idea that if I don't have a long-term procurement plan and the policy shifts after 2 years or 3 years. I'm always running the risk of actually investing. Then as an industrialist, see, I am coming from a background where probably I have more resources than 85% of your suppliers in the railway board or in the railway, starting from the tracks to your wagons, to your coaches, to your bogies, XYZ. The ideology is majority of your vendors who are enlisted with your RDS on rights are basically are micro and mini scaled, contributors. So most of these guys do not have the courage to actually invest in these things. Tomorrow, RDSO comes out with a certain amount of STR for a particular product. Now you invest in it, you build the factory over the next 2.5, 3 years, or 1.5, 2 years. Eventually, by the time you're ready to go for the inspections, your heart sinks because the STR has changed or something's gone down, right? So this has to be there. The constants of the policy that is being made by the government that will be supportive for the industry has to last for us to grow. Growth, like in my past panel, I think someone just mentioned that we are so used to living in yesterday and not today. We want to grow fast. We want to catch up for $30 trillion or $40 trillion by 2047, 2057. But the idea is, what we do today, we cannot rampantly distribute the ideology of bringing about the entire concentration of growth and wealth among 10 or 20 people, and 20,000 people go back in backward. That doesn't work. Point 3, and my last point to that is, along with the financing capabilities that is there with the government, I think there should be a sense of incubation, where somebody who wants to grow, wants to contribute, wants to come and produce something in the railway network is incubated, is supported, and is also allowed to breathe. Because tomorrow he will not have a chance to live again if you change, right? If you change your policy. But railway will live, right? That's pretty much it.
I'll just put in a small suggestion to him, and through this rail chamber, Defence has already taken the decision of procuring Make in India, and with majority, this thing, Harsimran might be knowing that policy, they have taken the decision. Similarly, in all PSUs, in all public departments, probably we should go for that Make in India as the predominant thing, and if a startup comes with that sort of a Make in India initiative, all components being made in India, then preference to be given and hand-holding to be given. That's what he's asking should stand in the way of development.
Absolutely, sir, absolutely. It would be really encouraging for the MSMEs and manufacturers of our own country. Yes, sir.
Make in India for Indian Railway is a prime subject and requirement.
Right.
And the whole section works on Make in India policy.
Wonderful.
The Indian Railway procurement bill, how much may be imported? Any guess? It is less than 1%. 0.62% only is import. And 99.48% is indigenous.
Wow.
All procurement of Indian Railways. These are certain things which cannot be done, some high technology or equipment and parts. Those things only. Otherwise, every tender is with Make in India and indigenous preference is given. So while railway is going ahead with the technological innovations and other improvements, the key item of Make in India is in the center.
That's really encouraging. I mean, it's for the audience also to understand that railway is emphasizing on Make in India. My next question is to Shri Pandey. Sir, how are intelligent diagnostics, AI, that we have been discussing since morning, and smart monitoring systems changing the future of railway asset management?
Thank you, ma'am. The biggest shift is we detect, earlier we were detecting after it breaks, now we are detecting prior to it breaks. This is the biggest change. And second, today in Indian Railways, we are using smart monitoring system. Last 10 years ago, once I started with my journey with Khandelwal sir under his guidance, there was totally manually monitoring system. Schedule monitoring maintenance system was there. Today, by this diagnostic system, smart intelligent monitoring system, sensor based, on the rolling stock, on the track side, the sensors which is continuous monitoring the rolling stock and infrastructure. We detect all the defects prior to it gets bigger challenge for the railways. This is the biggest achievement for the Indian Railways. And AI definitely supports data capturing. AI supports exactly the needs, where to the need to the give the attention. This is the biggest achievement for the railways by smart monitoring.
Absolutely, sir. So when we're talking about AI, Khandelwal sir, I'll come back to you, sir. How can technologies like Kavach, AI and digital engineering be scaled across railway network while ensuring the safety, affordability and speed of implementation?
The most of the failures and incidents in railway today, most of, when I say most, it is about 90% of the incidents are due to human failure. The solution lies in innovation and technology intervention. So to reduce human failure, railway is taking from all directions action to reduce human interface. Human cannot be avoided, but to reduce the human interface and infuse the technology, AI and other use, so that these failures can be reduced. And as you are told, Kavach is the in that direction, the step taken. It is a version 4 already launched in July 25, and more than 2,000 kilometers already it is laid. Agencies are there for about 25-30,000 kilometers. Indian Railway is planning to see that the Kavach network is spread over throughout the network in next 5 to 6 years. 3 agencies are already working. They are whole indigenous production, and 2 more will be approved shortly, and 10-12 are in pipeline. They will also come, and all of these agencies together will ensure that this technology is implemented in India, and it is world over use ETCS2, comparable to ETCS2 technology to improve safety in railways. There is we cannot think of not using of technology. Technology and new innovations are key. Railway is a customer oriented organization, and customer satisfaction is key for the success of railway. For customer satisfaction, already he told that what customer need, go to the station means it should be neat and clean. We should be able to travel freely by trolley bag like airports. So you have seen the biggest infrastructure project is launched. About 1,300 stations works are in progress. About 100 stations already completed. And by 2047, Viksit Bharat, minimum 2,000 stations are planned. Planning is 4,000, but 2,000 stations will be completed. Next is when you enter in the train, you should have a world-class facility. So Vande Bharat, Amrit Bharat, both have been launched, and planning is to introduce about 70,000 coaches by 2047, so that we have a modern technology and best of the facilities for our customers. Same way in signaling, all digital stations will come by that time. So technology is essential. There are so many new technology items coming in. So you must be aware. Time is short, so I will not narrate all, but it is a part of railway, and we regularly launch innovation challenges and startups challenges. Railway give them assistance. If you come with some idea, railway will help you money-wise also. Right. So all those things railway is taking in big way.
I think that website is railtech.gov.in. For those who are interested, they can put that their whatever proposals are there. There are challenges listed out there. Those challenges can be met by any startup. Interesting proposals which are found suitable. Funding is also done by the railway.
That's really a great takeaway for the audience. Sir, may I ask you to reiterate the website for the benefit of the audience so that
It's
the
available, many of the people, railtech.gov.in, you get that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very encouraging thing to hear. Sir, I'll come to you only for the next question. What role will multi-modal integration and dedicated freight corridors play in the future of India's logistics ecosystem?
Look, basically, whenever we are talking about one system of movement, ultimately we are talking about creation of the place utility. In economic terms, what is the transport achieving? It's creation of the place utility. Now, a product which is produced at one place has to reach the customer. Now, that's where transport function is coming through. Now, easiest way is going from company to the producer is through a simple road, but economics will not work out. So how do we arrive at a optimum cost function? Through various modes. Now that modes, if they are not integrated, like I can bring it to the goods shed, but if the goods shed is located in a very dense populated area, it is not possible to evacuate in time. So time and the location, these are the things which decide. We are now going in for relocating many of the goods sheds into outer parts of the city so that from there cargo is moved. People, like if you see the high speed train also, it's going right into Bandra Kurla complex so that people from Ahmedabad will just go working right up to their office premises and then they go back. This sort of multimodal through road, in fact, even the pedestrians and cycling paths where we provide for metro stations and metro stations connecting the larger railway stations and connecting the airport lines, they achieve that multimodal integration, both for passengers and for the cargo. And cargo, we have now for the years together, we suffered because of lack of capacity. We have been using the mixed mode of like tracks, same tracks we use for passenger, we use for Rajdhani trains and we use for cargo. In the cargo, the highest paid, the petroleum products, they suffered the maximum because they come in terms of priority behind the passenger trains. So paying the first class passenger fare, they come in the last priority. That was the fate because we have to prioritize the people's movement.
True.
Now, multimodal, when we talked about, we now segregated this entire thing with a dedicated freight corridor. They have added capacity so much that today if we are talking about moving 80 trains in a double line each way, this dedicated freight corridors can move up to 200 trains. That is the level of capacity we have increased in heavier, like in Olympian dream, heavier, longer and faster trains is the motto which we are doing in passenger movement, also in cargo movement. That's what is the advantage which we have got.
Superb, sir, superb.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This dedicated freight corridor, our most of the traffic, more than 40% of traffic, we move on 16% of network. That is GQGD. And Indian Rail, one freight corridor is east and west is completed. But railway is planning to make all these GQGD 4/6 lane, similar to dedicated freight corridor, to further enhance the capacity and provide better logistic arrangements for the country.
Very encouraging, sir. I'll come to Singh, sir. How can life cycle asset management and predictive maintenance improve safety and operational reliability? You might use my.
Basically, predictive analytics is nothing but predicting any failure or maintenance requirement before it actually happens. So if we are predicting in time, we are going to reduce the downtime of the asset. It can be any equipment, it can be any machine or like track machine or any rolling stock equipment. And if we increase the spectrum, we can add it to predictive analysis or of bridges and our physical assets. Like bridge health monitoring is being started in a big way. We had started it in 2013-14. We had planned it for Bardhaman Cable Stayed Bridge, and I'm happy to see that now many mega bridges are having this. But there is a requirement to make it a policy sort of thing so that all important bridges are having predictive maintenance so that their monitoring can be done in a better way. When we talk about life cycle management of the asset, predicting maintenance will help in this way that we can think in terms of total cost of ownership. So we are not only talking about the procurement cost or the acquisition cost, but also the operations and maintenance cost. When we will be having predictive analytics, we will be targeting this maintenance aspect. So we can have these kind of contracts like the contractor will have to bear if there is more cost of maintenance than it was agreed, or there is more downtime than that was agreed beforehand. Or we can have contract in terms of performance parameters that these are the standardized parameters. If you perform better, you will be incentivized, and if you perform less than that, there will be penalization. So the contractor with predictive analytics, he will always be targeting to have the better performance, reduce the maintenance requirements, and the whole ecosystem will be set up in such a way that everybody will be in a win-win situation. The suppliers of the OEMs, they will also get aligned. Indian Railway has already been adopting it in some way, like in case of locomotive procurements, rolling stock equipment, and it can be gradually increased. We can increase the quantum, or we can say that we can include the physical assets also in this. When we are getting high-speed networks, I think this can be predictive analytics and life cycle assessment can be added to the civil and electrical assets also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And we have heard the policy and the ministry and the board side of it, the PSU side of it. Would like to hear it now that from Mr. Birla. How can private industry and government collaborate to strengthen supply chain localization with the Make in India initiative?
I think, Nikita ji, as Khandelwal sir just said, we are just importing 1% or less than 1%. So practically, if you see, we live in the times of Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. So in this times of this generation, this time at all, we are already localized to a larger extent. The idea is to keep that local strength of yours alive and strengthened. For that, I think you'll have to, you have to provide them the capacity, enable them to be able to export. The capability of export orientation from your local strength will have to be enhanced. Today, over the last, say, 7 years, 10 years, we've spoken about in various industries, not just railways, but in automobile. I'm in automobile sector as well, so automobile, and then, in steel sector. We've spoken about building up of infrastructure, technology by importing machineries. Whereas today there are machineries that are being made in India which people want on the outside, and that capacity and capability we have at the cheapest strength, at the cheapest cost, pan-India or in pan-world. So my ideology is very simple: to keep the local strength alive. The localization will happen by the long-term policy that the government sets up, by the incubation that they give to the local strength that you already have, so that they have the capacity to export, and then eventually get the accreditation for all the all the licenses and all the benefactor positions that you can get in the West.
So,
Mr. Birla is telling that whatever earlier, I'll give you example in railways, you have seen big yellow color machines on the track. They were 100% imported 10 years back. Today, India is manufacturing in India and exported about 100 machines to world over, in Europe, US, all the countries. So that is converting India from importer to exporter of the machines.
Right, absolutely. And driving my own experience also from the Ministry of MSME, and a lot of policy level shifts are happening, which are very, very encouraging for the Indian manufacturers with regards to export, import, and everything. Things are getting into a very, very dynamic direction. So I think good times coming ahead. My question next to Mr. Pandey, sir. Can India emerge as a global leader in indigenous railway diagnostics and safety technologies, and what it will take?
I think already we are on the path. Already India is becoming a global leader in the technologies, especially in the railways. 10 years ago, there was nothing. Only the manual monitoring was there. Today, I think Indian Railways has so many technologies in India today. If you compare, hardly few countries are there who are using so many technologies. Railways, smart monitoring system, integrated monitoring system, so many numbers are there. Sports car is there. Such a huge number Indian Railways has procured now. I think not a single country have tendered such a huge quantity, 80 numbers of sport car for the 10 years life cycle monitoring. Oh, India already is at par, coming 5-7 years. I think we will be among 3 or 4 countries having so many monitoring systems at rolling stock, at track side. So we are already there.
Right, sir. So, given the paucity of time, I will try to wrap this up with one liner from each one of you on this session. We'll begin with Khandelwal, sir. Just a one liner which would be encouraging for the audience and motivating for the manufacturers of India. Yeah.
Hello. Today, the government is with us. We are having money, we have energy, we have direction, we have policies. If you come up with anything which will make your business easier, board is ready to adopt it and then issue guidelines. It is regularly meetings are held in the board, and Gati Shakti Directorate, even every directorate they have a meeting and issue cement policy issued very recently is one example. How to reduce cost of the cement and transportation. So like that, railway is open to come up with new policies to support the country and logistic arrangements in the country. For Viksit Bharat 2047, Viksit Rail is essential and stage is already set. I invite all of you to come and build Viksit Rail to take the country to Viksit Bharat and 30 trillion economy.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. Srinivas, sir, please.
I have saying only one thing. We have witnessed change in front of our eyes. Change is the only constant which is going to happen. Let's welcome it and see what is good. We have had a plethora of talkers about AI and all that, but behind everything there is a person. That person is the key. So let's look at HR and development of the human skill as the ingredient which will build our future.
Very important, sir. Yes, sir. I'll give it to Mr. Birla. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, today the times that we live in, and I'll speak from the perspective that I come from, which is the industry as well as the investment in the various sectors that we do. We feel most secure today than ever before. My family is into this business for the railways for the past 54 odd years, started by my granddad. I'm third generation, but over the last 15 years of my professional experience, I tell all my peers, my colleagues and everybody in the industry that if you invest today, then you will get the rewards and probably, the returns, the ROI to your investment. In our Marwadi language, we call it Parta. Your Parta will be the best ever over the last 50, 60 years, and this is a golden time for you.
Right. Great. Mr. Pandey, sir.
I can add here, रेलवे में बहुत सारे चेंजेस हो रहे हैं और रेलवे बोर्ड में डे एंड नाइट काम होता है. हम लोग को खुशी है कि हम भी उस जर्नी के एक छोटे से पार्ट हैं और उस रेलवे को विकसित करने में हम लोग साथ मिलकर कर रहे हैं.
Wonderful. Mr. Singh.
I would say the road to Viksit Bharat and Viksit Rail, it passes through the technology adoption and skill enhancement. So we should come up in a big way to adopt the technology. It can be in the form of the ultra high performance concrete or 3D printing, or starting manufacturing of SIL 4 certified chips, which we are still importing, and upskilling our next generation and our employees, and most importantly, the trinity of industry, the educational institutes, and the government. They should collaboratively encourage all the students to adopt the technology which is relevant, so that when they step out of the college, they are already aligned to the industry. The industry will also benefit, the students will also get the job, and we will be able to realize our vision of Viksit Bharat. Thank you.
Right, so with this we come to the end of this brilliant, inspiring exchange of ideas that has happened. And we actually began with the timeless words, Yogakshemam Vahamyam. And in many ways that the railways has adopted this philosophy, preserving the trust of millions while continuously evolving to meet the aspirations of a growing nation. In today's conversation, we saw policy coming together, we saw the views of PSUs coming together, the views of the private manufacturers coming together, and very nicely sorted by Mr. Singh at the end that a lot of collaboration is required. So it's a very famous saying that says that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go really far, go together. So the depth lies in the collaboration, and the entire ecosystem would be built with the essence of collaboration. Thank you very much for being such an engaging audience, and namaste from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, to all the panelists. And before you get off the stage, we would like to felicitate you with the mementos, and for that I invite Dr. Shah once again on the stage, please. First of all, Mr. Anil Kumar Khandelwal. And to the audience, I request to everyone to please give them a big round of applause. Next we have Mr. Srinivas Nanduri. Please keep clapping for the amazing speakers we had here today. Mr. Harsimran Singh. Now we have Mr. Aditya Vikram Birla. Mr. Manish Pandey. And now our moderator, Ms. Nikita Bose. And I also request for the group photograph probably. Please take your trophies also along with you if possible. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right. So, well, it's, I know we are way ahead of our time now for the lunch. But then we will take another short break, not exceeding 15 minutes. So let's connect again back to the conference. We will resume the session in another 15 minutes, requesting everyone to please get back.